Broadcast Amsterdam.
We're just waiting for the press conference to start. So this is me, Kathy, and you're listening to Broadcast Amsterdam. For those who are wondering, there will be a recording of this broadcast after the show. Let me keep an eye on that. Let's hope it doesn't go longer than another 30 minutes, but we can adapt if needed. So you're all sitting tight. Let's put a music bed under here. Let's see. So we've also had a suggestion of playing a game so that where I'm reading out, I'm going to basically read out the tweets from dutchnews.nl. And who was it now who says, shout out to David Iwanu, who says, shall we play a game and say the audience can suggest words to use in case dutchnews.nl come up with a censored word or some swearing. But it's all right because we're actually allowed swearing on the station. That's all right. Where are we? Got some notifications on Twitter. Hello to everyone else who's followed us. An extra 49 people have followed us on Twitter. Nice. Hello. Plenty of things for you to find out about later on. Very serious article afterwards on the Dutch News website. Exactly. Here we are. I'm just catching up and waiting for these tweets to come in. Johnny Teacup, shout out to you. He says, is it too early for a glass of port? And Dutch News says no. Of course not. I've been putting brandy in my coffee. Irma! We've got Irma in the house. Someone's pleased at Dutch News. Let me see if I can do that. Irma is here! Shout out to Guru Dutch, who has the gin. I don't believe you, Guru. I don't believe you. Prove it. I'm waiting for some actual information, Dutch News. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to get started now. So, DutchNews.nl say Prime Minister Mark Rutte is off to a roaring start. This is a press conference at a weird moment. Hugo de Jongen and wannabe used car salesman Hugo de Jongen and Hugo de Jong will explain why the upcoming measures are necessary, he says. Rutte says, we have to hold tight, because the experts are predicting a third wave. Yes, we've heard all about that third wave. Hear that? Do you have trouble, following a thread sometimes? I do. Okay, everyone is Corona Moo. I am too, he says. That's a rhyme. He should write a children's book. Brackets, we're mostly Corona drunk, to be honest. Speak for yourself, DutchNews.nl. Everyone is Corona Moo, I am too. Someone's going to have to make a song out of that. He says the government is going to ask a lot of the people today. Don't ask what you can do for your country, ask what your country can do for whatever. So he says the government is going to ask a lot of the people today. Thought we already had the hardest lockdown in Europe, buddy. No one wants an Avond clock curfew, least of all me, Rutte says. I might have to edit the recording of this, tighten it up a little bit. GIF alert, shout out to Libertad. What's the GIF? Let's see, for those audio sensory you cannot see, perfect excuse not to quit drinking. I've never seen that GIF before. Shout out to all our new followers on Twitter. Kevin Bielowski, 67 other new followers. By the way, this music bed is by an artist called We Are OK, Amsterdam artist. He does all sorts of electronica and stuff. It's kind of fun. Here we go. I'm really behind on this. There we are. Likely, as of Friday, the Netherlands will be under a curfew from 8:30 till 4:30 in the morning. The first time a nationwide curfew has been introduced since World War II. For those of you who like fun trivia facts, that's Drew. Shout out to our DJ Drew. Tuesdays, he loves trivia. So the first time a nationwide curfew has been introduced since World War II. Exceptions will be made for people who are travelling for essential work. You will need a statement for your employer, from your employer. People who are walking their pets, but alone, not as a family, and medical emergencies. So those are the exceptions. Medical emergencies, people who are walking their pets, only alone, not as a family, and those who are travelling for essential work, and they will need a statement from their employer. Okay, it will last until the 9th of February and the fine will be €95, everybody. So that's the 9th of February, the same lockdown date as the rest of the other measures, and the fine €95. That is from earlier, I believe, actually. I've got to catch up now. So, no one wants one, but least of all me, says yes. So, because the Dutch are different, the Dutch got to be different, the curfew will be, as predicted, between 8:30 and 4:30. That's 8:30 to 5:05. Do you like my Dutch? It's a compromise between the people who wanted 8 and those who wanted 9, I guess, says Dutch News. It will be in place until the 9th of February, as predicted. GIF alert! A GIF of a cat being dragged along the grass. That's sad. There will be exceptions, yes. People who are travelling for work, but you'll need a statement from your employer. We did that already, didn't we? So there you are. Shops, like supermarkets, which are open till 8 o'clock, will have to close earlier. Yeah, shops will have to close earlier. That's a big one. Rutte will call for everyone to shop in the morning. Is that true? Is that really true? You can't have everyone shopping at the same time. This is the tweet, though. So, according to DutchNews.nl, brackets, what a world when the country's Prime Minister is giving advice as to when to go grocery shopping. I can't believe it either. The number of visitors in the house will be reduced from 2 till 1. So that's over the age of 13 visitors, and that's per day, I presume. So the number of daily visitors you can have to your house is a total of 1 over the age of 13, and that has been confirmed. We were wondering about that, but it's been confirmed. Oh my goodness. Funerals will be reduced to 25 people. So the number of people who can attend a funeral, that's gone down significantly. That's going to start on Monday, the 25th of January. I hope that doesn't affect any of you. Meanwhile, shout out to Tahiri Rebati, following us on Twitter. Shout out to James Herbert. Shout out to Christine Luz, just new followers. Thank you. Thank you to Liz Limoncello. Love that name. That must be a nickname, surely. Liz Limoncello. Love it. Let's refresh the screen. Yeah, you must be getting this faster than I am. Right, okay, so everyone travelling to the Netherlands will have to have a negative PCR test to arrive. I thought we knew that already. There is going to be a flight ban from the UK, South Africa, and all countries in South America. Whoa, says Dutch News. I thought we had that already. I'm really not up to date. I've got to read more Dutch News. Okay, the law has been changed for the quarantine to be made... Let's see, mandatory. Do you say mandatory or mandatory? The law has been changed for the quarantine to be made mandatory, but they are working on this. I think I like mandatory. So that's brackets 9 months in. Grrr, say Dutch News. Now we go to Hugo de Jong, who looks like he's absolutely done with this. Say Dutch News NL. Tweeting at DutchNews.nl. She's going to kill me after this. Okay, so Hugo de Jonge says, we have to take these measures, extra measures for a reason. Brackets. I hope there's a reason, you Johnny Bravo knockoff. Who's Johnny Bravo? Is that the guy that Keanu Reeves played in a film? So, Hugo de Jong, he says, while the number of new infections is going down, the numbers are still too high and the pressure on the hospitals remain. He says, we see a third wave coming and the B117 variation is more contagious. R1.3. Thank you very much, Dutch News. And it's already here in the Netherlands. That's true.
Mommy.
Yeah, hello. Hello from Hans. We're doing a live radio broadcast, Hans. It's the boss is on television. The president.
Is it president that you're talking about?
Yes, it's all about the coronavirus. Right, here it is. Some more. The current measures are not enough to get the new variant under control, he says. He says that we see how in Ireland and England it can go wrong. Did you like the way I said Ireland? The OMT, the Outbreak Management Team, thinks that the new measures will reduce the transmissions by 8 to 13%. That's the new measures, I presume, being the curfew and the smaller number of visitors to our houses and stuff. Oh, GIF alert, GIF alert. I think I see something from The Simpsons. So, Dutch News NL tweeting, how disappointing, no, this is quoting from Hugo de Jonge, how disappointing it is to look back and see the opportunities we left behind. It's quite poignant. You could put that into a song, couldn't you, Hugo de Jonge? Brackets from DutchNews.nl. Excuse me, I have to go die of rage now. Cue the GIF. Anger GIF.
Mommy!
Yeah?
Coming to make the police.
Excuse my screaming. So straight after the show, I have some very important Lego making to do with my young son. So he's waiting for me. That's what you can hear. Oh, yes. So Hugo de Jonge saying, the only way out of this is with vaccinations. Super glad we were the last country in Europe to start then, says Dutch News Brackets. Super glad. Het Parel just sent me a live alert on my phone. Yes, maximum of 1 visitor to your house per day. That's going to affect us on Broadcast Amsterdam. I don't know about you, because sometimes we have one person come for a show and then another for a show later the day. So we'll have to restrict that. Oh, GIF alert, GIF alert. A special place in hell for this type of evil. Hugo de Jonge says that the government sees that some people who test positive do not take precautions. People who test positive do not take precautions. And he's telling the whole country that. Uh-oh. Careful. Hans just pulled the curtain down. That's all right. Shout out to Damn Kitchens. He wants to know what was the noise for the anger gif. I did like through gritted teeth. But the actual gif was a clenched fist from The Simpsons. There you are. Oh yeah, no, it was Carl Winberg who asked me the question. Carl Winberg. Shout out to Carl, my friend Carl. I haven't seen him in like 5 years, but we're tweeting regularly. Okay, here we are. I'm behind. De Jonge says that the plan is now to give the second vaccine 6 weeks after the first, rather than 3 weeks after the first vaccine, as originally planned. This is the vaccine that needs 2 shots to be properly effective. Supposed to be 3 weeks apart, and now he says that the plan is to give the second vaccine 6 weeks after the first. Brackets. This is because they don't have enough vaccines. So Dutch News NL tweeting, last Monday they started with nursing homes and the handicapped care. This Monday they will start with smaller hair combs? Smaller hair combs? Sorry, it's a care home. Spoonerism. After that, people who are older than 90 will be vaccinated. This is in the Netherlands. There's probably quite a few over 90-year-olds, actually. So that's Hugo de Jonge saying that they started with nursing homes and the handicapped care. Let's think. This is what they say. Last Monday, starting with smaller care homes, and then after that, people who are older than 90 years old. I've got some time to wait, haven't you? They hope to have all of the elderly and everyone in care homes vaccinated by spring. Dutch News have got questions. GIF alert. Never done this before, by the way. It's good practice for the next 3,000 pressers. Shout out to Michael, disgraced hat. What's your hat done to be in disgrace? New followers, thank you for listening to Broadcast Amsterdam. Questions. I wonder what the questions are. Oh, here we are. I'm totally behind on this. Sorry. I'll keep up. So from the NOS, how do you convince people? Brackets from Dutch News. I guess making something an actual law instead of a vague suggestion. Hear the snark in that. Ritter says we are in a public health crisis and the new variant brings in a high risk. We have to do it now. I don't think that answers the question. So next up, what about late night shopping after 8 o'clock? That's okay, isn't it? That's the question. I don't know what the answer was. When does the curfew start? That was just a question to Dutch News, not... Oh, no. Okay, so these are questions to Dutch News, not questions to Hugo de Jonge. I see. These are people's questions. David, I know, wanted to know about late night shopping. Sorry, David, I think you're going to be disappointed. Lots of questions there from Dutch News tweeters. I would not put it upon myself to answer them all. How about Thuisbezorg, says Bogdan Govrik. That's a good question. Can food deliveries come? Very good question. James Kelsall agrees. Gyms. Ryan Gosling is laughing. GIF alert. Lots of people want to know about gyms. Right, what have we got? Oh yeah, I've got to catch up with the questions. How do you convince people? They did not really answer that very well. Will this help the situation? That was a question. Rutte says yes. Here we are. Rutte says yes. Brackets. Dutch News NL says, I mean, what else is he going to say? Actually, no, it's all cancelled. Maybe it won't help. Feel the frustration in the Dutch News.nl tweets. Follow them at Dutch News NL, of course, which you all are doing. Thanks for listening in, everybody. Okay, question for the government. You said the corona response is not impacted by the demissionaire caretaker status. So that's the caretaker government status, which in Dutch is demissionaire. But now you have to go to Parliament and ask. So Rutte says they would have asked anyway. They've got good manners. These are heavy rules, he says. Questions, when will it start? And they are aiming for Saturday or Sunday. That's, I think, for the Avondklok then, is it? When will it start? I thought they were starting for Friday. Bit of confusion here, I suppose. But yeah, they have to go to Parliament and ask about the Avondklok. The Avondklok being curfew, yeah. So, I think one of the answers, many people already have an exception. How difficult is that for the police? Yeah, so that's a question the press are putting to the government. How many people, many people already have an exception. How difficult is that for the police to police? Rutte says that the goal at the start is to be very strict. Fraud will be investigated. Brackets from Dutch News. Wonder if it will be investigated as seriously as the childcare benefit. Snark. Question, does the curfew increase the feelings of loneliness? The press asks the Prime Minister. Yes, Rutte says. Is that just for him personally? The whole country, he says, is having a hard time. Yeah, just got to keep an eye on this broadcast. We'll get cut off in about 5 minutes, but I think the questions don't tend to go on for too long, do they? Thanks for listening, everybody. Oh, quite a lot of people listening. This is kind of the record number of listeners. Hello, everyone. 104 listeners. We usually get about 6 to 10. So yeah, thank you for listening. My name's Kathy. We're broadcasting 24/7 on Broadcast Amsterdam. We're an English language channel for Amsterdam and the Netherlands, playing great music, live shows every day, catch up on demand on our website, and lots of repeats as well on the station. Get in touch with us if you want to get involved. info@broadcastamsterdam.nl. Thank you for listening. Oh yeah, we've got some new things coming through here. Here we go. RTL asks the Prime Minister, was the decision... Sorry, demissionaire Prime Minister. I think demissionaire Prime Minister. Caretaker Prime Minister. Was the decision for the new measures in the Cabinet... Yes, Rutte says. Brackets from Dutch News. There's been some questions about what D66 and Zeestuk, which is part of the coalition, will do. They seem to have the inside track on that. Shout out to Natasha Cloutier, who responds. One thing I didn't think you mentioned, so this is not from Dutch News, this is from one of our network. One thing I didn't think you mentioned, people who need to go out to get a paper from their employer. That's useless for 1.4 million self-employed and, of course, the ones that need to go out, like nurses. Good point, Natasha. More gifts. Another question here. Are you certain about having a majority in Parliament? Rutte says no. He doesn't know if he has a majority, but he says he doesn't have the luxury to have 100%. There's no alternative, he says. He says he doesn't know about every faction of the coalition. He says to them, yes, this is heavy, but we're at a crucial point for our health, for sure. Let's see if I can give us a little bit longer on this broadcast. So after this is over, you'll probably hear a few music tracks from our cloud, but we've got a very nice show at 3 o'clock if you stay on the station, by the way. Quick plug for that. Marla's Musical Archive. She's talking you through a legendary concert from Tame Impala at the Heineken Music Hall, which is no more. But that'll be on at 3 o'clock if you hang around after this. So update from Dutch News. Here we go. Yes, the OMT, the Outbreak Management Team, says it can't calculate the effect of separate measures. So how do you know how well an Avond clock will work? Good question. De Jonge says that they have an idea for stay-at-home orders, but you don't know for sure, and it's not easy to compare. That's helpful. GIF alert. Shout out to Libertad. Your GIF alert is strong. True dat. Haven't seen that one before. Nice. So, of course, the main news we're all expecting. But it was that they threw a bit of a curveball in there with the 8:30. We were all thinking it was going to be 8, and then they gave us an extra half an hour. Is everyone else reeling from that? So, update from @DutchNewsNL tweets. He says we know that the new variation is here and spreading faster, and we have to get out ahead of it. That's why we take these measures. That's according to Hugo de Jonge, live tweeted by @DutchNewsNL. So he says we know the new variation is here and spreading faster, and we have to get out ahead of it. That's why we take these measures, he says. A clarification question about delivery food. He says there's no exception for takeaway and delivery isn't clear, but he doesn't think it is exempted. Also, whoa, brackets, from Dutch News. That is a big thing. So no exception for takeaway, and it's not clear about delivery, but he doesn't think it is accepted. You just think he would know about these things. Sorry, I've managed to keep calm up until now, but surely they must have anticipated that question. Food deliveries at that time. I don't know, it's quite difficult. What about people who work nights and things like that? Aren't they not entitled to food delivery? I suppose they'll be having a special exception from their employer. There's that. You can have an exception if you have a letter from your employer. Shout out to Martin Oret. Don't do this to us, Mark. Get that. Hold in there, Martin. You can listen to the radio. We'll cheer you up. Keep you company. GIF alert from Karen Shetty. Oh, I've seen that one. It's the one of the guy opening the window and jumping out in a comedy way. Don't get bad ideas, anyone. Ooh, Dutch News. Where are we? So, here we are. Now, when will the curfew start? As the debate is tomorrow, which is Thursday. It was originally planned for Wednesday, which is today. It's been moved. As the debate is going to be on Thursday, the curfew will start on either Saturday or Sunday. Did anyone tune in for this for some clarification or to know what was going on? It seems to be clear that we don't know when the curfew's starting. Saturday or Sunday. Oh no, I just cancelled my tennis game on Friday thinking I wouldn't be able to do it. Hey Hans, say hello to everybody. I'm going to be finished soon. And then I'm going to go play Lego. Is that a good idea? He says. Is that a coronavirus cough? No. Good. It will be either Saturday or Sunday. Right. There's a very real ugly confrontation between an SBS journalist and Rutte. Oh dear. That's going on right in that room. I didn't see that. What is the fine? We know that already. €95. And there's going to be no warnings. Straight away, €95. Did you hear that, everybody? €95 and no warning. But the curfew has not yet to be decided whether it will start on Saturday or Sunday because the debate is on Thursday. Jeez, keep us on the edge of our seats. Why not? What does a required quarantine look like? De Jonge says that you will have to register your travel and then your registration will be checked. So that was that. What does a required quarantine look like? De Jonge says you will have to register your travel and then your registration will be checked. If you're not at home, you'll be fined. Oh, so those people coming back into the country, if you're not at home, probably they're going to do some random checks, then you'll get some fines. Okay, that's understandable, right. They are going to police these quarantines. That is a big, much more serious quarantine than we've had up until now. Shout out to Murray Lane, who tweets to Dutch News NL, cash or pin? I think it will be pin, Murray. I think it will be pin. So I've extended this broadcast because the questions are going on and I'm having so much fun, but can't go on too much longer because I've got Lego to make. Right, I've got some more questions to catch up with. A clarification: delivery can continue after 7:30 or 8:30. It will be exempted, everybody. Oh my God, cue the fireworks, balloons. I'm gonna come. 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Delivery can continue after 8:30. It will be exempted, everybody. Phew. Oh my God, they kept us on the edge of our seats about that. You will need a statement for your employer, for those employers, and this is also for the horeca if they're working late than 8 o'clock. So the restaurants and cafes, anyone who's doing deliveries in the restaurants, they will also need a statement from their employer. Questions about work. So that's if those people are working later than 8 o'clock, 8:30. Question about infections at work. Rutte says they are talking with employers about what can be done. Rutte says if necessary, they can close offices. There's a question to De Jonge about moving the second vaccination. De Jonge says that healthcare says 3 weeks, but the guidelines say it can be 6 weeks. So De Jonge is saying, the guidelines say it can be 6 weeks, so they're working with the guidelines to get people a vaccination faster, and that's why they've moved the second vaccination date. But he obviously then believes it's within the guidelines, so it's okay. Update. Keep up, Kathy. De Jonge says that people do not need to be afraid that they are not protected, meaning, I think, protected by the vaccine. Yeah, it's still effective. Hello. Hans is getting impatient, so we're going to have to sign off soon. Okay, a question to the government. Will it be a crime to break the curfew? I suppose will you get a criminal record if you get a fine? Rutte confirms no. It is a fine, but fraud on a form will be a crime. So if you fake a letter from your employer, that will be a crime. So the fraud. So, but it won't be a crime to break the curfew, even though you will get that €95 fine on the spot with no warnings. There you are. Update. Let's see the update. Oh, it's a GIF alert. Hans, look, puppies. A question about dogs. Leashed dog walking is accepted. We knew that one, didn't we? The dog walking is accepted. Okay, I've got 2 minutes left of this broadcast and then I'll leave you to the questions. But these are the questions coming through the press. I hope you keep listening, everyone who's tuned in.
Do you want to cook, yeah?
Do I want to cook, yeah? Yeah, I have one, thanks.
Okay, I'll give you one.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? A chocolate or a stroopwafel?
Thank you for listening, everybody. I've really got to go and take care of my child. This is the first time. Join us again another time. Here we go.
Broadcast Amsterdam.
Broadcast Amsterdam, your local radio station, 24/7 and on demand. Or on broadcastamsterdam.nl.